Hi, I'm Vinny, and this is Vinny's View. I'm just about to get in the van and review Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. I know what you're thinking, Vinny, this isn't your kind of movie. It's a chick flick. Hey, look, on request, someone wanted me to review it. I'm open to it. Let's jump back in the van, and I'll let you know what I think. Okay? Hi, I'm back in the van, and I just saw Ghosts of Girlfriends Past with Matthew McConaughey, Jennifer Garner, Michael Douglas is in this movie. It's, in a nutshell, it's basically Christmas Carol. It's the Christmas Carol story that they took and kind of readapted to fit this movie. Matthew McConaughey plays this cad womanizing, good-looking, successful photographer in the city, and he has women coming out of his eyeballs, and and he is a guy who is against love. He is not. He's against marriage. He's against falling in love. He's all about womanizing, and in fact, there's a scene in the movie where he does like a mass breakup on iChat. So that's pretty funny. But so that's the kind of guy he is. How did he get this way? From an early age, he was raised by his uncle Wayne, who was played by Michael Douglas. Uncle Wayne is a rich cad of a guy from the 80s, and that was his thing. Now, he was raised by him because his parents died. I mean, the thing is with him is that he, as a little kid, he was very innocent, and he kind of fell in love, or, maybe he was on his 8 years old, 10 years old, with his childhood sweetheart, played by Jennifer Garner. And they had a sweet relationship. She gave him his first camera and a Polaroid. Of course, he took her picture with that, and there was a lot of sweetness to their romance, and when they were little kids. So, but when it comes time to have his first kiss, of course, he wanted it to be with Jennifer Garner's character, whose name is Jenny, and as it turns out, it didn't work out. So he's crushed, and of course, who is there to pick him up is his old uncle Wayne, and he's of course, he takes him under his wing and teaches him his womanizing ways. So off we go with Matthew McConaughey, and his life was basically that. And until later in life, he ends up meeting back up with Jennifer Garner, and he kind of wants to give in, but his life was so. He just was so turned off to love and commitment that he still couldn't commit, even though that in a lot of ways he kind of knew that she was the woman for him. So anyway, he has to go to his brother's wedding, who is he's getting married up in Rhode Island at Uncle Wayne's beautiful mansion. Uncle Wayne is now passed on, so he goes up to the wedding, and of course he sees Jenny there, and that kind of rekindling is it's bubbling up in his gut again. But he is so set in his ways that he can't work anything out with her, and she's just totally hurt from him anyway. So so the story goes, he's in his room, and the ghosts start visiting, and basically the ghosts really just kind of show him the error of his ways, and really what his life has been and what it could have been. And obviously it's a very predictable story. We all know pretty much how it's going to end. He sees the error of his ways, and I'm not going to totally give it away, but this movie could be really, really sappy, and a real chick flick, and again, Vinny going to a chick flick, but you know what? It wasn't sappy. It was actually pretty well done. It had a lot of funny moments in it. Matthew McConaughey, while being a unbelievable overactor, he really is, and we'll talk more of that later. He's effective, and he does the CAD thing really well, and he turns it around actually pretty well too. But he is an overactor, but he is helped by the incredible Jennifer Garner, and I think she's really holds this movie together. She's very strong, and the two of them together are actually very strong together. So that's a bonus too. They're helped by a good supporting cast, but overall, it was pretty funny. It had some funny moments, had some touching moments. Hopefully we'll get to some movies later in the summer that are really touching, because I well up. I'm sensitive. I really am. I was tearing up a little bit. I mean, if you could see the side of my shirt, it's a little wet. So, you know, it was very sweet, and it was a nice relationship with his brother. That was nice. Of course, you know, you've probably seen some of the commercials. He kind of wrecks the wedding, and in a lot of ways, he intentionally wrecks the wedding because he all these years he's been training his brother on the ills of love, and his brother is a sweet guy, and you know, really doesn't want to believe that he wants to get married. So, but you know, the McConaughey character does his best to kind of derail those plans. But you know, I'm not going to give away the ending, but you know, you have a pretty good idea what happens. So anyway, let me go through the characters. Matthew McConaughey plays Connor Meade, and you know, like I said earlier, I think he's a real overactor. I've never seen him overact as much as I saw him do it in this movie. Because of the kind of movie it is, I think he can get away with it to a certain extent. And we all know him from movies like Fool's Gold and Failure to Launch. I mean, he's in a lot of these romantic comedies, and you know, I actually think I've seen him do pretty good work in other movies, and he tends to do these kind of sappy-ish romantic comedies. This one was probably one of the better ones. I mean, I tried to watch, I don't know, Fool's Gold, Fatal, one of those. I couldn't get through them. We Are Marshall was a much better movie, and he was good in that. I actually like Sahara too. Sahara I thought was a pretty good movie, and that was fun. So, you know, he does his thing in this movie. He's not awful. A little bit on the overacting. So we talked about Jennifer Garner earlier. She plays Jenny in this movie, and I really like her. I think she's got a really good future. I really started to love her when I saw Juno. The movie Juno, while being a really terrific movie, I thought that she really was the heart and soul of the movie. She really held it together. Her role as the mother to be, you know, expecting Ellen Page was going to give her the baby that she was having. I thought she was really, really strong in that movie, and you know, there was such a sweetness and a softness to her that I think she's really a terrific actress. And we might have seen her in earlier in her career was Daredevil. It turned into Elektra, which was a disaster. Daredevil wasn't a great movie, but she was actually very good in that movie and very athletic, and I liked her in that as well. And she was also in 13 Going on 30 and Catch Me If You Can. So I think I like Jennifer Garner. I think she's really a good actress, and I hope she gets some really great parts coming up. Michael Douglas plays Uncle Wayne, and Michael Douglas is looking a lot more like Kirk Douglas these days. I mean, he's getting older. He still looks good. You know, he still commands the screen really, really well. I mean, he is just dripping with sleaze, and he's like fell out of the Rat Pack in this movie. He literally was something else. But as Uncle Wayne, but you know, he's one of our just Hollywood icons. Really, I think he's had an incredible career. I mean, obviously he was in Wall Street. He played Gordon Gekko. You know, remember, Greed is good. Greed works. That was his line in the movie, and he won an Oscar. That was his Oscar win for Best Actor in that movie. And you know, he was terrific in that movie. Basic Instinct, which is another great movie that he was in. Traffic is another movie I really loved that he was in. Falling Down. I mean, if you think of Falling Down, where he played that guy in L.A., you know, surrounded by the craziness of L.A., and he just hits that breaking point. Remember him with those glasses that he had on? And he was great in that too. And you know, many people don't remember, especially some of the younger viewers. Hoping I'm getting some younger viewers. He was also the producer on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is probably one of my all-time favorite movies ever, which won like every Oscar back in the 70s. And really, so he was one of the producers. He won for Best Picture. He got up there and won the statue for that. So, you know, to have him in this movie, you know, he really brings a great presence, and you know, it was probably a lot of fun for him to play this kind of drinking, womanizing kind of rich guy, and I think he did a great job. So, go Michael. Here's my rating for this movie: great on a date. Okay, great on a date. There's enough for guys to enjoy it. There's some funny bits. Certainly, I think women are really going to like this movie a lot. So, great on a date. Anyway, so I'm Vinny, and this was Vinny's View, and I will get back to you soon, okay? Thanks.